Hey everyone, welcome back. Glad you're joining us for another deep dive.
Another deep dive. Yep.
This time, we're going to be checking out this crazy Italian Cup quarterfinal.
Yeah.
Reggio Emilia going up against Trento.
Oh, I heard about this one.
Yeah, this one had some serious swings.
Some real nail biters in the Italian Cup, huh?
Especially from what I'm reading here, the second and fourth quarter, just wow.
Oh, yeah. Those turning points. Love to see it.
Yeah, it's interesting, we don't have a full play-by-play here, but just from what we've got, it seems like the story here is momentum.
It really does. I mean, even without every single detail, the way they describe it, you can really get a feel for the flow of the game.
Totally. So, okay, second quarter, Reggio Emilia just takes off.
Yeah, they pulled away there.
And the source we've got just keeps hammering this tenacious defense and mental toughness.
Oh, yeah, I see that. Tenacious defense and mental toughness. Well, I mean, those two often go hand in hand.
Right. Like, how do you even, what does that look like on the court? Tenacious defense.
So, I mean, you got to think it's all about pressure, right? You're just not letting up. So you're all over those passing lanes, making sure Trento can't get anything easy.
Okay, yeah.
Forcing those bad shots, maybe even, throwing in a trap here and there when they least expect it.
Oh, I gotcha.
And the boards, got to control those rebounds. Every single possession becomes a battle.
So that's interesting. It doesn't actually say anything about Reggio Emilia's rebounding in that quarter.
Oh, huh. Interesting. Yeah, that would have been a real giveaway, wouldn't it? Like how many offensive boards they were snagging.
Right, exactly, because that just feeds into that whole never giving up mentality,
For sure.
But okay, then fourth quarter rolls around.
All right, here we go.
And Trento mounts this huge comeback.
Oh, yeah, nobody saw that coming.
And they really, they pushed it on defense, which, it says led to all this offense.
Classic, that's how you turn things around, right? You get those stops, get that energy going, and suddenly you're running the floor.
And it mentions specifically Ellis, Niang, and Cale as, leading that charge.
Those guys, they're the heart of that team, right?
Yeah, but break it down for me a little. What makes these guys so effective? Were there any plays mentioned, anything specific?
That's the thing. The source is a little light on the play-by-play details.
Right.
But we can kind of put it together, right? So Ellis, he's your playmaker, right? The guy with the vision.
Right.
So he puts up 12 points, which is respectable, but then you see 14 assists.
Oh, wow.
And it just hits you. This guy's not just scoring. He's orchestrating the entire offense like a maestro.
Yeah, that's a lot of assists.
Finding those open teammates, setting them up for success.
I could practically see him, pointing to guys where to go.
Absolutely. He's calling the shots.
Yeah.
And then you've got Cale.
Okay, yeah. What about him?
This guy, 22 points, solid, but it's the PIR, 24. That's what really catches my eye.
Oh, yeah. PIR, for people listening who maybe don't follow basketball super closely.
Yeah.
What is that all about?
Great point. So PIR, or performance index rating, it's basically like this all-encompassing measure of a player's impact on the game.
Okay, yeah.
So it's not just points, it's rebounds, assists, steals, blocks, everything you can think of, all rolled into one number.
Oh, that's really interesting.
So when you see a high PIR like Cale, it means he's doing it all, not just scoring. He's grabbing boards, playing tough defense, probably even got a few steals and blocks in there. It's a truly well-rounded performance.
Okay, that makes sense. So he's not just a one-trick pony. He's out there really influencing the game in every way he can.
Exactly, a real difference maker.
Okay, and Niang, 18 points, 7 rebounds. Looks like he was a beast in the paint.
Oh, yeah, he was cleaning up down low, no doubt.
So, okay, here's the question. Is this just these three guys, are they just individually that good? Or was there something else going on? Did the source say anything about, great teamwork?
Right, well, again, it's not super specific, but you got to figure if they're turning those defensive stops into quick points, that means communication, right? Maybe some fast breaks, taking advantage of those mismatches.
Right.
They weren't letting those defensive stops go to waste. They were capitalizing on that momentum, swinging it back in their favor.
That's so cool. So it's okay, Reggio Emilia, they build this lead off their defense. Then Trento comes in and they kind of flip the script.
Huh. Yeah, you're right. It's almost like they saw what Reggio Emilia was doing and said, hey, we can do that too.
Right, were they copying or is there something else?
It's a good question. Maybe they realized, hey, Reggio Emilia's defense is really disrupting us. Let's fight fire with fire.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was a calculated risk. They knew we've got the offensive firepower. If we can just get some stops, we can turn this thing around.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the source doesn't really give us enough to say for sure what their thinking was.
Ah, man. That's always the way, right? You want more.
It is. But hey, that's the beauty of it, right? You get to kind of fill in the gaps yourself. Imagine those huddles, those timeouts, what was going through their minds.
Totally, totally. But it is interesting, it's like we're talking about these three guys, Ellis, Niang, Cale. They really made a difference.
Oh, for sure.
But ultimately, it's still a team sport.
Couldn't agree more.
And this kind of highlights that, right? It's like, yeah, individual players can be game changers, but it's the strategy, the adjustments, the way those five guys on the court work together. That's what really determines the outcome.
Exactly. It's a beautiful dance, offense and defense, individual brilliance, and team synergy all coming together.
That's a great way to put it. And you know what? This whole thing just leaves me with this question. And maybe this is something for our listeners to ponder.
All right, let's hear it.
So, which is more impressive? A comeback win, like Trento pulled off, where you're down, you got to dig deep, you got to adjust, you got to find that extra gear.
Right, that grit.
Or building and holding a lead like Reggio Emilia did, where you got to be disciplined, you got to be consistent, you got to withstand that pressure.
Both incredibly impressive, no doubt about it.
Yeah, and I'm not sure there's a right answer, right? It's almost, what kind of team do you want to be?
It really depends on your philosophy, right? Your coaching style, the players you have. So many factors at play.
Exactly. And hey, maybe that's something we can dig into another time.
I like it. A deep dive into coaching philosophy.
Right. Like, is one approach inherently better than the other? Is about finding the right approach for the right moment.
Those are the questions, man. Those are the questions.
All right. Well, for now, I guess we'll leave everyone with that to think about. But until next time, keep watching those games, keep analyzing, and keep those questions coming.
Absolutely. That's what it's all about. The love of the game, the strategy, the never-ending debate.
Yeah. Could have said it better myself. See you next time.
Kia.